The night sky wasn't supposed to look like that. It wasn't supposed to glow red, or breathe fire, or scream. But on February 13th, 1945, the city of Dresden learned that war could erase a civilization in a single night. People remember Stalingrad, Normandy, Berlin. But few remember the city that burned so bright the clouds turned into flame. Dresden was a masterpiece of culture, a city of art and music, untouched by the brutality of war, until the bombers came. It started with a distant hum, like a swarm of insects crawling across the sky. People looked up with confusion, then terror, as hundreds of aircraft took position above the city. At 10:13 p.m., the first bombs fell. They weren't just explosives. They were designed to ignite, to consume oxygen, to create something scientists called a firestorm, the kind of heat that melts steel and swallows air out of human lungs. Buildings shattered. Glass became shrapnel. Streets swallowed flames. Those who ran for the shelters didn't know they were stepping into ovens. By midnight, the city was unrecognizable. The firestorm roared at over 1,000 degrees Celsius, pulling air into its core like a living organism. People were lifted off the ground by winds strong enough to tear skin from bone. In the old market square, a woman named Elsa tried to hold onto her daughter's hand as the fire pulled them both toward the inferno. She remembered the world going silent, then bright, then nothing. Her body was found days later near the fountain, fused into the stone. The second wave arrived after midnight. When most cities would already be rubble, Dresden became a target again. The bombers came not to destroy buildings, they came to kill survivors. They targeted the firefighters, the medics, the ones crawling out of debris. When morning came, the city that had once been called the Florence on the Elbe was gone. No cathedral spires, no opera house, no bridges. The heat had been so intense that the asphalt melted into rivers and trapped anyone who stepped into the streets. Thousands died without leaving remains. But here's where the story twists. In the chaos, something happened that historians still argue about. In the center of the destroyed city stood the Frauenkirche, the greatest Baroque church in Germany. People swore it stood untouched, perfect, surrounded by ash and bone, a symbol of survival. But 2 days later, without warning, the church collapsed into itself. Not from explosives, not from impact. It simply fell. Some said it was the heat. Others claimed it was fate, a message from God, a reminder that nothing survives fire forever. And yet, the story doesn't end in ashes. 50 years later, after the Soviet era, the people of Dresden rebuilt the Frauenkirche stone by stone. They used the original blackened stones and placed them alongside new white sandstone, a scar you could see from kilometers away, a reminder of a night when the sky caught fire and a civilization was almost erased, not by evil alone, but by the momentum of war, the kind that no one can stop once it begins. If you ever visit Dresden today, you won't smell smoke. You won't see flames. But if you stand in the square at night, when the lights hit those black stones, you'll feel something. A whisper, a warning. History isn't just written in books. Sometimes it's burned into the ground. And the question that remains is not why Dresden burned, but how many other cities would burn if the world forgot what fire can do.